It's just a simple red button. You push it. It's got all
What,
kinds of
does that
fart
mean age
varieties.
of consent should be 25?
No, he was just rage baiting. I watched that video. He was just joking. He was just joking. I watched that video.
The fart button works in all situations.
That I saw.
If you want to talk to an asshole, so what's the point of today's show? Oh, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There's no point to today's show. It's called Playing Clips of Milo Yiannopoulos and
You know what the point is?
Nick Fuentes. Wow, what a life. Didn't think my life would turn out this way, but here we are talking about Nick Fuentes.
Mayor.
No,
Okay.
but you can engage a little bit because I wanted to.
Ask about what we were talking about.
What about altruism? Yeah, I wanted to ask.
Well, Diego's here. Why don't you just ask him?
Yeah. I wanted to ask him since you were here too. Diego, do you not believe anybody's altruistic? Like, do you not believe that that's a concept?
Only Jesus.
Okay, so that's your position. Got it.
Only Jesus. Can you explain to us what all Jesus means?
That's an interesting take, Mayor, don't you think?
Yeah, go ahead, Diego, Dr. Diego. Tell us what you mean when you say only Jesus. That's like saying only fans, but only Jesus. What does that mean, Diego?
Truly
So rude.
sacrificed himself
I
for
mean,
the
not
sake of
really.
others. He
Because
just took a 3-day vacation. He didn't really sacrifice anything.
Only he took the full ultimate sacrifice that we could only hope to be able to do.
You mean we should aspire to get ourselves murdered by our government in a public setting and proclaim that we are the Son of God and troll everyone, the government and the religious authorities, and that's what we should aspire to, Dr. Diego?
If you could rise again.
Because Diego, I was misunderstanding what altruism meant, and the mayor clarified.
It's all true. Is that what altruism means?
Yes, precisely. That's what it means.
Okay.
And then he told me how you define it, and why you don't see certain things as altruistic, and I'd given an example of something in my life. That mayor said that that is altruism, but then how you would not necessarily see it as altruistic. And when he explained your position, I was like, oh, that does make sense. So I was curious how, and you basically said what mayor described earlier.
That's so interesting. Because you would say that there was value in something else if you're attempting to sacrifice. If you think you're sacrificing something else, right?
You got to pay attention to your audience because Meyer hasn't been here for 10 seconds. And if you just go on and on and on about, Q&As, but you have no point. I mean, this isn't like an English dictionary definition show, is it? Altruism. Let me Google that for you. Altruism. How do you define altruism?
I was already talking to Mayor about it earlier, so I already knew his position.
My name is Music, and I like to play music instead of talking all the time. Because if you talk all the time and you don't read anything and you don't put anything new in your head, guess what? You're just a talking head. That's all you are. Just a talking head. No new information in, only information out.
John, be nice.
Be kind.
Yeah. Be like Diego.
You mean suffer from brain rot?
You know you haven't seen Diego for months. So why are you saying that?
That's called projection. I haven't seen that retard in years.
You know.
I mean, what kind of a guy drives around San Diego in an old used piece of shit with dandruff all over his shoulders?
Diego doesn't have dandruff.
Listen, I am a bald man who has used Propecia and Rogaine for many years, and all I can say is this guy's hair is gonna fall out the moment he stops using his Propecia and his Rogaine. And dandruff is an unfortunate side effect from Rogaine, aka minoxidil.
You think they use Rogan? That's an interesting.
Well, what kind of an egotistical, self-centered narcissist whose hair falling out doesn't use minoxidil and get dandruff? I don't know. You gotta look, you gotta maintain, I guess. Status, whatever that means.
You do acknowledge he's sexy, though, right?
I acknowledge the fact that this dandruff sufferer drives an old piece of shit jalopy thinking it's cool while his robot family in the car completely ignores him. And he comes out of social audio chat and confirms that he's lonelier than he's ever been in his entire anti-Semitic, neo-Nazi, Jew-hating, pathetic life. I don't know. Maybe it's not a me problem. Maybe it's an internet thing. Maybe it's like a conference call thing. I don't know.
Yourself. You're claiming that he has dandruff, but you're saying that it's from the minoxidil.
Did you forget this is a roast? It's a hypothetical barbecue. And I'm here making fun of this dandruff suffering jalopy driving motherfucker. Because the internet's weird like that. It's random.
Just obedient, so that's not a robot. That's good. That means he has order in his life. And I forgot the rest of the stuff that you said already.
Where's Abby when you need one? I need a sympathetic audience here that loves my humor at the expense of other people. Schadenfreude. But I don't know. Maybe there just wasn't enough time. That's generally what the problem is. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough integrity. And then boom, here you are on the internet talking to a laundromat Bitcoin money launderer and a Scarface jihadist. I don't know. Maybe there just wasn't enough time.
Scarface jihadist. Oh my god.
And go to Algeria sometime. Start a jihad.
Oh my gosh. You made me forget what I was saying.
Don't knock John, because John he has order in his life. I mean, he gets up every day. He turns on all the phones. It's like a clock.
Nice.
That's right. I'm repeating a pattern every day, capturing all kinds of schmucks, including myself. And I've progressed to a higher level of consciousness and intelligence. And people are jealous, actually jealous of the fact that I can wake up every day and click a couple buttons and exist and have no stress, no sorrow, no depression, no pain, no anxiety. All discomfort soothed. And everyone here is a shareholder in the universal corporate stock of music. Oh, our friend Harlequin is here. Hi, Harlequin. Have you found that eternal source of peace yet?
Yes. You guys know that John cultivating, collecting, all these different rooms, like he pipes them in. He actually stole that from me because we had an idea to create like a Clubhouse docu-series, but he just like abandoned me and continued on the project because he's a hack.
Abandoned you, and I'm a hack? Well, that's all projection. Welcome to my show. You know, I hate to tell you, Harlequin, that I've only conversed with you a couple times, and for you to come on here and make that outrageous claim is exactly what I'm looking for. So thank you very little. By the way, I hate to break the news to you, Harlequin. I've been recording the Diego and Princessia show for many years, and tonight's follow-up bonus episode is so unexpected and so entertaining that I think our audience of 3 people, aka Abby in the grocery aisle, clipping coupons, it's gonna be the most exciting follow-up special bonus episode, and it's just so unexpected. So thanks, Diego. Thanks, Princessia. I really appreciate the bonus footage. Thank you.
Honestly, Diego, we should have like some kind of like fictional series about Princessia and Diego.
You do. It's called the John Kitover Show, where he records people with brain rot wasting 7 days a week.
Together isn't fiction. Princessia and Diego.
Wait, you guys couldn't hear it, but I hit the fart button. That's Abby at the grocery store. She just decided to get a Snicker bar at the checkout aisle, just in case. JIC. Everybody loves chocolate. Oh, Abby's finishing up her PhD. She just submitted her final thesis. How's your PhD working out for you? Where are you working at these days? It's Julian's world. Abby is living in Julian's world with her best friend, Alpha. This is a special little section just for Abby because I know she's going to listen in. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I have another room open called the Diego and Nora Low IQ Show, and Pearl, it's the brain rot. It's in a couple different houses, but you guys should look at the hallway once in a while, practice some, self-awareness, and maybe stop with all your brain rot. I don't know. It's just an opinion. See, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a comedy show, and Migzad is in the audience right now. He has recommended one of the worst movies ever called Dinner with Andre. This little 15-minute YouTube recording to me is funnier and better than the entire Dinner with Andre movie, which sucked, by the way. Hey, Diego, I don't know. Did you ever see any of the photos from, the founder of Italian fascism or, Mussolini? What do you think about Mussolini, Diego?
I like Julius Evola. I think he's pretty cool, but I don't know much about him.
Diego, do you believe that the Quran? What do you think of where the Quran is from? Do you believe it's like from the devil?
I just think it's from people that wanted to have their own holy book. They wanted to build on the Bible. That's the same way the Mormons did it. The same way essentially Protestants do it. Like they're building on top of it.
You had replied to somebody that
That was a long one.
Oh.
Matt was just here. Hey, Matt. Welcome to the Diego and Nora Low IQ Clown House Show.
I mean, I might be low IQ, but Diego isn't.
Well, that's your opinion, Princessia. I've met the man.
No,
I've seen the
it's not.
dandruff. Hey, Matt. Welcome to the show.
I heard that he saw that your eyes were soulless music.
This is projection. Matt, this is AI. You're listening in to why is emotional entanglement so difficult between Diego, a married and multiple divorced schmuck and Bitcoin utopian moron, and Brincesia, the Scarface jihadist from Palestine. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Music, you were trying to make me feel better about my scar. Why are you like being mean now?
I'm being facetious, okay? You need to go read a book and go to the gym. And your face looks great. And now you just have this cool beauty mark story. Some of the sound effects are longer than the others. This is a fart button. It's the coolest AI add-on to your Clown House experience. Don, welcome to the show. Hi, Don.
Hello, white people.
Hello.
I don't know, John. Are you being called white?
Say that again.
Wait, let me go look in the mirror and take a photo of my skin and tell you what color I see on the color index. You know, I don't have the dark setting on my phone, but right now the background is white. Let me hold up my hand to the white background on my phone. Oh my God, my skin is a lot darker than the white background.
Diego, he doesn't identify as Jewish. Music doesn't.
Ish.
Anybody's Jewish here?
What is a Jew?
That's an interesting question.
I knew you'd find that question interesting. So can you answer it? Hello?
Don, you want to give it a shot?
That's you say that's an interesting question. I'm gonna say that's an intriguing question.
Mysterious.
So how would you answer it, Don?
I would answer how big it was.
Listen, do you actually eat Cocoa Puffs? And are they better than chocolate Rice Krispie cereal?
I don't eat
Cocoa
Puffs.
Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles, I mean. Have you ever had a kosher bowl of Cocoa? Mixed, can we get a kosher ruling here? Is Cocoa Puffs kosher, or is Cocoa Pebbles more kosher with 2% milk?
I eat steak, eggs, and avocados.
It's a lot of gas right there. Don, this is a barbecue party. It's a roast for everybody here. Can you pass the coleslaw, please?
Go ahead, music AI.
All right, everybody, I just want to encourage you to take the deepest breath of the day. This has been your Diego and Nora roast meditation.
Diego.
Bandura, the 9/11 elevator shaft jihadist terrorist with the Scarface.
Scarface Al Capone.
So we've been trying to answer the question, why is emotional entanglements so difficult?
Why is emotional? Say that again.
Why? That's the first word. Why is? That's the second word. Is.
What's the fourth?
After emotional, you get the fourth word in the sentence. That word is entanglements. That's like friction. Or
What what is entanglement?
Go ahead, Nona.
Yes, sir. Let me go to my answer.
Mixed, welcome to the stage. We have a learned Talmud Chacham here and a lawyer, an actual attorney to help us answer this very difficult question.
No, emotional entanglement is when your emotions become so tied up with someone else that it's hard to tell when your feelings end and theirs begin.
I didn't ask for the emotional. I meant entanglement. What does that mean? Not emotional entanglement.
Well, Nora just described to you what it means. It has no beginning and no end. It's just a chaos.
Oh.
I don't think that's what it means.
Well, we have an attorney on stage to help us answer this difficult question. Welcome to the show, Mixed!
Ah.
You didn't come up earlier, Mixed. Were you, I guess, busy?
This is probably
Yeah, I
the
was away
funniest
from
show
my
ever.
phone.
Oh, okay.
Entanglement.
Yeah. Do you remember when Jada Pinkett Smith talked about sleeping with that dude? Cheating on Will
Vaguely.
Smith? Yeah, she called it an entanglement.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Wait, who are these people?
This is the
Come on,
greatest
Black.
button ever.
They're black.
That's who they are.
I thought they was white people.
No, they're black. Will Smith is a black actor and singer.
You know Will Smith was white?
Who's that mean?
I think Dawn is black.
I thought you said that you recognized the name Will Smith and recognized it as a white man.
I thought we was talking about Will Smith, the white man. That's
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Who's that white?
That's John Smith.
Oh, he's a scientist.
Oh yeah? What science does he do?
He's like a scientist. He used to be on Bill Nye the Science Show on the television show, and I totally remember because there you go.
Why did Mixed leave? He was like,
Because that's what he does. He's either not present and just lurking because his phone is there, or he comes on and he leaves right away. That's what he does.
Oh.
It's called an Irish goodbye. Now, I have a question for the room. Why would two Jewish parents who raised an attorney call their Jewish son the name of an angel, aka Michael?
Why Jewish people look white?
Because there's this concept that they do called Semitic bride gathering, where they basically every few decades, like they have a few of them have to like breed with the host race, so that they don't basically like die out.
They go back to the host race. They go back to the host race to protect their genetic group herd. Wow, fucking genius, Diego.
how am I not supposed to be in love with you when you say stuff like that?
That was the smartest thing I've ever heard. The Jews go back to the host race to collect the genetic material for self-preservation of the herd.
When I was watching House, Simon, I don't know if you can hear me, but there was an episode when one of the Jewish doctors is like, my ancestors, we just run away.
This is called the fart show. So this is what Jewish derangement syndrome feels like, ladies and gentlemen. If the plumbing in your house breaks, if your battery in your car dies, if your cell phone stops working, it's definitely because of the...
See, we're not going to be anti-Semitic.
Can we play the
Yeah,
John
of course.
Kitover theme?
Yeah, let me find it. Unless you can send it quicker, then I need to organize them in folders so I can have them quicker.
I
Let's
might
see.
have it somewhere.
This is a very intriguing question that I had when I was born. What is
Followers of Muhammad, their Lord and Savior.
basically every sentence you can push the button in this room.
No,
That's not it, right?
That's not it.
We're doing these songs in
That did sound like Jewish music. Let me see here. That's Zach.
Yeah.
I've read this scripture. It's like a book. It's like
A book? Did somebody say book?
No, that's not it.
it has like a scripture written that says something about the people that are Muslim are jinns. Something like that.
Good
makes
one.
sense.
Did somebody rip a fart? Here we go. Are we ready for the John Kitover theme song?
Listen to you, Noda.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go through them another day and organize them.
Hi, NPC. Welcome to the show.
Here?
So, Don, you still there?
Hi, Em. Welcome to the show. Hi, Ghetto.
This is a song about music.
It's 4
I will get it for him.
Hi, Q. Welcome to the show.
Here we go.
I'm glad Simon is back because I really want to talk about the Trinity and altruism.
Jesus. And a one, and a two, and a 1, 2, 3. So you get it or not?
No. Oh, you did send it to me. Sorry.
John Kitover, Sesame Street song.
Oh, John Kitover, he's the clubhouse king. Consistent as the bell he loves to ring. With a black cube shining on his forehead bright. He's live on YouTube every day and night. John's got a recorder, he's taping you and me. Whether we know it or not, it's all on his brain. All communications, hypnosis, he'll say with a grin. Then Marcus also really says the wisdom kicks in. Oh, John Kitover, he's the clubhouse king. Consistent as the bell he loves to ring. With a black cube shining on his forehead bright. He's live on YouTube every day and night. He's a landlord army vet, now running for Congress. Says not to speck of dust, out of place I confess. He met Diego at a gas station, called his car a jalopy. Said fix that dandruff buddy, your style's kinda sloppy. Yoga's his jam, he's stretching in the sun. Sunning his, well let's just say he's having fun. There's no time to waste, he'll shout to the crowd. You're doing nothing, he declares oh so loud. John Kitover, he's the clubhouse king. Consistent as the bell he loves to ring. With a black cube shining on his forehead bright. He's live on YouTube every day and night. His live feeds are endless, more than stars in the sky. Streaming every moment as the hours fly by. With his bell ringing and his wisdom to share. John Kitover's energy is beyond compare. So here's to John with his cube and his flair. Spreading his words through the clubhouse air. Keep ringing that bell, keep shining so bold. John Kitover's story will never grow old. John can Sesame Street song. John can Sesame Street song. John Kitover,
Encore. Wasn't that so good?
You know,
Play this until he leaves.
what's great about that song is just how accurate it is. It's so accurate. Danny, welcome to the show.
John Kitover, he's the clubhouse king. Consistent he loves to ring.
You have another one?
Yeah.
Did you make?
Simon?
Danny, welcome to the Diego and Nora Low IQ show. And Pearl.
Wait. John.
Hello?
Yeah, like John Smith.
Hello?
John Smith. Whoa, that I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty awesome. Especially the diamond on his head.
Hi, Danny. Hello?
Danny, you know you have me blocked.
Hi, Danny. Danny's on Clown House all the time, 80 hours a week minimum. But Danny's going to the gym now. Danny went swimming at the gym. Danny's going to the gym now.
You do.
Unblock. Unblock everybody. It's not nice to block. Be nice now. We got to be kind to everybody. No blocking.
I like how it has your picture as 18.
It's a psyop. It's definitely a psyop. Here you go.
I like Dan.
Isn't Danny a Zionist?
I like you too.
Diego, are you up to debate Simon?
Simon!
Whatever. Like he wants to say that Islam makes more sense. Like that's the position that he can hold.
That's not true, Diego. I'm presenting an objective perspective.
That's not his voice. No, not even about Islam, but like his thing about. Simon, are you even here?
Oh, Simon's here. Get to the chopper. This conversation's about to get boring.
So Diego, for the Trinity, do you just appeal to mystery when it comes to the Trinity, or is there anything that, for your belief, that you understand?
No, whatever. I think the point is that he doesn't understand
The three persons, one Godhead thing. What is it? Let's just do this. Let's just do this. No, on ChatGPT.
Do you want me to do temporary ChatGPT or regular ChatGPT?
Whatever you think is going to give you the most
he
unbiased.
thinks ChatGPT can't lie, so go ahead and use ChatGPT.
It's not about if it's going to lie or not.
Based on what? Reading the Romantic Manifesto.
Based. Fucking based.
Just
Simon won't do the same thing.
Bro, right.
Based. I got a paste in my panties. I
I'm
got
on
a
ChatGPT,
based
Simon.
pasty panties.
You will do it? Whoa.
I just have to release a few products, and the moment I do, I promise I will read whatever the fuck you want.
What kind of products are
That'll
you
be
gonna
huge,
do?
man. We're gonna have to have a conversation.
What the fuck, bro? Act like a. God damn it.
Gotta release a few
You wanna-
products.
you wanna
Gotta
see
take
me
the
put down?
Cosby Kids to the beach.
Audience, please.
Get to the
Yeah, of
chopper
course.
and shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Mark.
Gotta release a
Okay.
few products.
Or go down to the audience and shut up.
Oh shit,
No,
man.
that was a good imitation. Good job.
I'm not gonna lie, Simon. Truth honesty, he's been playing that fart sound since I was here. But it's not a bother or anything. It's just him.
Do you think it's his culture? Do you think it's like his people that just like that's how they are?
Yo, he's just
Like Simon, I'm reading this book called.
he probably got ADHD for all I know.
No, he's just retarded.
Simon, have you ever heard of the Camp of Saints? The Camp of the Saints.
No.
This one.
What is it called?
It's called the Camp of the Saints.
What's the conversation we're in right now?
Before I
I just was like telling him that it's this French guy. He wrote it, Jean Raspail.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about basically how Indian people are? Oh, no. Shit.
You're not talking about that song, right?
Honestly, my child just put fucking hands in the fucking toilet.
Oh no.
As I was about to talk about how Indians love to eat shit.
Diego, your kid sounds really to me.
Be careful what you talk about, Diego. You don't know.
So
You don't want that to come to them. Like, stop.
soon you're gonna see that they're gonna be celebrating those cow.
Oh my God, stop! Don't say that.
Indians.
Hey, Isa, welcome to my room.
No,
I am recording Diego and Princessia.
They play with cows.
And Simon, the loser.
They do a lot of things with it. Hold on.
I know you think Simon is so sweet, so cool, so fun, but I don't like. Well, I guess I like everybody, but
Indians and Muslims.
my show isn't funny unless I'm making fun of people.
Imagine, like, that's how you indoctrinate an entire, like, population to say, like, hey, listen, like, it's okay.
I have
that
a
we
new
live
prop
in
on the
shit.
show. It's called a
We
fart
just have to
button.
play with it.
You
to
push
make
it,
better.
and it farts.
Right.
It's insane.
But you ever heard the terminology that I am the shit?
Damn it! I have to go. So thanks, Simon. You came late. I have to go.
Okay, bye. I really wanted to go through the ChatGPT thing, and I wanted to hear his passage, but I want to do a Diego present.
Just do it. You can read it after. It's ChatGPT. Okay. Just wait. I want you to be the best and most consistent logician.
Send or read something else.
I'm giving you time to write it, unless you're like.
I already finished.
Okay.
I
want you
type
to
like
be
very fast.
Okay. Next.
So you want me to send it or write something?
No. I want you to hold on. So I want you to be the best and most consistent logician.
Okay.
Does the concept of the Trinity violate the law of identity? Only use Aristotelian logic.
Learn how to spell Aristotelian. Let me see. Aristotelian.
And it's not changed? And
It doesn't matter if it's a different, it's not changed, right? If I tell you, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. It doesn't matter. If I say Muslim, right? Muslim Salam said that Ghan said X, and then I say Rashad said that Ghan said X. Right? So, but I speak to two different people about it. Me giving a different name for myself or someone else referring to me by a different name isn't adding me in different chains where I don't belong. I think what you're trying to say is that there's a chain and it mentions three names, but they're all the same person. That's what you're trying to say.
No, actually, I'm talking about the same person being consistently in different chains, but as different people, showing that the chain has a consistency, showing that specific people are consistently, through this period, because some of the time periods don't even match up. That's another thing.
Actually, that's interesting because that would be evidence of independent chains. Because, for example, let's say, right, that in the chain is Hussein, right? Hussein, the son of Ali. Right. So, and also some other companion is another chain, right? So when the other companion mentions Hussein, he will say Hussein said that his father said, right? And then someone else, another companion will say Hussein said that Ali said, right? So now they're saying it's father versus Ali. There's two different references to Ali, right? But it depends on who the person is that's transmitting it. How do they refer to him? The father of Ali or the father of Hussein? Or do they refer to him as Ali, right? If there's two different chains from two different people, there's no problem with that. I mean, you think there's some issue with that? That would be expected.
Well, the main historical method, one of the big ones, is the Isnad system does not exist during the life of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He did not give you, he didn't give you any of these commands to have a chain of Islam. An Islam chain is basically a Jewish thing. It's taken from All right, so let's just get. So you're saying it was invented in a vacuum? This is just.
No, I'm saying this is a normal thing for people to try to identify from oral transmission who said what.
So you're gonna take so you're saying the chains that the Jews used to go back to the Mount Sinai. You're trying to make a Quran only argument. I don't care if Muhammad didn't tell people. I don't care if Muhammad didn't tell people to use this thing. Right. The point is, it would make sense for everyone who is a student of the companions to say, my teacher Ali told me that when he was with Muhammad, he said this. And another student will say, my teacher Uthman told me that when he was with Muhammad, he said that. Right? And they could be talking about the same event, different events, etc. And naturally, right, someone down the line will say, oh, this is how things are being communicated, right? Let me document this. And early on, they were documenting it, and down the line, they were documenting it. So the one that we have access to, Bukhari, Muslim, these are from a couple of generations later. And so they're documenting chains, and it was very important to identify who the speakers were, when they spoke, who they were connected to, etc. So you don't like that system? That's okay, but it's a pretty reasonable system for someone to use to determine if things happened or people said things. So it's a very loose way to go about it. If you're saying this, I don't even know why you would need a chain if you have the literal word of God. Like, what would be more to give you on that? I mean, you're hinging on it being the literal word of God. Hey, listen, I'll give you that. But man, like having an isnad chain also. I mean, the main problem in isnad is, obviously didn't exist during the time of Muhammad. How can the chains be known that they were fabricated? Right? You just go backwards.
Yeah, why do you think it's not a good system, Barth? Why do you think it's not a good system when modern journalism uses it extensively, modern historians use it extensively, modern legal systems use it extensively? It's such a bad system. Why are they employing it? Have you ever seen a chain of custody for evidence for a case, like a criminal case? Right? They literally have to write. The libraries use it. Right? You got to write who checked out what and how it's transmitted to what. Most human systems that need to document access to something use a system like this. You have to know who is the one that has access to something. And so in critical spaces like the legal system, critical spaces like journalism, you need to employ a system of who's who. Right? Are they someone I should take information from?
So as the hadith is circulating, right, we're using new transmitters added to early authorities, right, to the chain. Eventually, they get pushed back to Sahabi. Finally, somebody attaches it to
Who's Sahabi?
Great question.
It's Sahabi. Sahabi means companion.
Sahaba, Habi, however you want to say it. Sahabi.
No, you thought it was the name of someone. But that's why I'm saying this conversation doesn't really go anywhere because you don't even understand what we're talking about.
Listen. I understand what you're talking about. I'm playing with you. Because I have to play stupid in order to bait you into the conversation. Because if I say I know too much, you'll just leave. Like every Muslim does. So okay. I have to make these mistakes on purpose because if I don't do this, you guys will see me as an easy picking, and then you guys will leave once you realize I know what So that's the whole point. But then how do you go from the new transmitter reading back to Sahaba to automatically going back to the Prophet? Itself right there is a big, huge red flag for historical purposes. Because we're going to need the person who wrote it. Because we're going to have to need the person who wrote it. Did they have writings? Does this connect with any time period in history?
They're not writing. They're not writing from other writings. See, this is the thing. You're confusing the issue.
So how is
I'm explaining to you. You're thinking like the way Matthew might have been an author in a later generation who was reading some text from somebody else and writing it down and copying from it. That's not what Bukhari is doing, right? So people were writing down, and look, there are many reports of people writing down the words of Muhammad in his lifetime, and he told them, don't write it down. Right? He told the people only write down, his scribes were only writing down the Quran that he was revealing. But there were still many people who cited, things that he said. So from a very early period, there was this attempt to write down and document what was happening and what was being said. Right? Some people had the skills, some people had the resources. And so each generation, right, the first generation of companions, you have several people that spent time teaching about Muhammad. They didn't spend time writing books about Muhammad because nobody has access to material like that, right? It's a later development where Muslims get more access to material. So the writing itself becomes more prevalent. But the key is, in the process of teaching, you have to know if your teacher is reliable or not. Right? You have to know if this person is someone that you should sit and learn with.
Yeah,
that's not something that can be hidden.
That historically. No one's gonna look at that as being a reason for looking at this as a credible source. No one talks like that when you're looking at history. No one says, "Oh, this person was trustworthy," and all these trustworthy people.
Of course they do. What are you talking about?
They don't.
You do it in your own church. You do it in your own church. Why do you take from the church fathers?
We take from church fathers, but they're not actually writing in stuff that happened in history. They're only recording about what they thought about the theology during that time period.
Are they trustworthy?
Which gives us an insight.
Yeah, why do you take from Mark?
We took from Mark because he was a contemporary writer at the time.
No, because the church tells you that he's a trustworthy source that's communicating from a actual eyewitness who's reliable.
So now what happens, right? When we use
now, if somebody said, I'm going to quote Judas, you'd be like, no, we can't trust that guy, right?
No, if Judas had wrote something and it was legitimate, why wouldn't we take it as using the historical critical method? Why wouldn't we take his writings?
If someone comes along, I said you as a Catholic. If someone tells you that, hey, I have the teachings of Judas about how to be a Christian, you'd be like, wait a minute, why would I trust Judas? So that's exactly what you would do. You wouldn't. You're not interested in reading any of the Gnostic works.
I share the link all the time, bro. I've read all the Gnostics ones, trying to find a chain in Islam where you guys got these ideas from. I literally looked into them all, and I did this with Zanera.
I do give you credit for that, Bart. I give you credit. It is entertaining when you troll. It does make it engaging. I appreciate
everything is a troll for you. You can never have a real discussion, I guess, because everyone's always trolling.
No, I said I appreciate that, right? This whole idea, if I look for the Gnostics to see the connection to Islam, I think it's entertaining. It makes the conversation interesting.
No, I have tried myself to come to understand, right, where these ideas or this thing came from, because with the Christian sources, right, after the destruction of the Second Temple, and I know you're sick of hearing that, but in the first and second centuries, right, we have even Jews themselves codifying, again, because they were exiled, because they were displaced, they weren't allowed to Jerusalem, they weren't doing the temple practices anymore. The Sadducees that made up the majority vote in the Sanhedrin weren't even considered like Jews anymore. They were heretics, straight up heretics. So there was a lot of stuff that changed in Judaism, and a direct heresy of Judaism is Christianity, and it's a response to it. So they didn't believe in the Logos. They wouldn't say the Logos is God.
Your Christianity, right? Bart, if you were an honest person and you took a historical critical approach to Christianity, you would say, wait a minute, all of these Christian practices seem to be extensions of paganism, right? Human sacrifice, Son of God, Christmas, these traditions. I mean, come on, man. It's really rough. It's really rough that you're not going to acknowledge, the church connection to Roman paganism. I mean, honestly.
Okay, so the incarnation, where do you think the incarnation came from? Do you think that's Jewish or do you think that's pagan?
I told you specifically what I thought were pagan practices.
Okay.
You gonna address those?
Yeah, so let's
Okay, yeah.
It's human sacrifice. Is human sacrifice a pagan practice?
atonement.
No.
You read Deuteronomy, I think 22.
No, it's in your book.
Is human sacrifice a Jewish practice
You're okay
or
with
a
that?
pagan practice?
Atonement sacrifices, dude, with the lambs and the blood. It even describes basically what we have at the Eucharist. It makes sense. So
Is human sacrifice? I don't know if you can hear me, Aaron.
yeah, I
Is
heard you
human
very well.
sacrifice? Is it a pagan practice or a Jewish
I
practice?
heard you very well. So presuming, we're not throwing Jesus every day on the blood altar and oh yeah, we're gonna kill Jesus like the way the Aztecs did. Now Jesus is referred to as the Lamb of God for a reason, right? But I understand because we are, we're doing this the Muslim way, so we're gonna straw man, make weird correlations to other random stuff, right? But then when we do the same thing, we're right. But okay. Anyway, atonement sacrifices straight from the Old Testament. Reincarnation straight from the Old Testament. The Son of God straight from the Old Testament. What next? What are the other big ones that they like to mention?
I posted a book on the top there so you could read rabbis talking about their Mashiach. And I guarantee you, Muslim, when you read some of these on their explanation of Isaiah 9, Daniel 7, Isaiah 53, all of these things, they're all going to apply it, and it's going to sound like these Jews are literally reading right out of the New Testament. And you yourself are going to say, because you could use this book, and you can ask them, you say, but wait a minute, I thought you said that you guys wouldn't believe in God becoming man. Right? And it literally says all these rabbis, and this is medieval period. This is all Maimonides. I mean, you can read them all. You can read them all and look exactly when they were written.
A demigod whose father is God and mother is not God. Is that a pagan concept, or is that from Judaism?
See, again, now we're doing the stretch, right? And we're gonna
let's go to first. No. Let's go to let's read him where the father-son thing comes from.
I didn't ask about the father-son thing. I didn't ask about the father-son thing. I didn't ask about that.
Oh, what did you ask about?
Like, you're not even listening because you think that the only way that the thing is understood is the way you were taught, right? Clearly, this is not the way that it developed.
I'm very critical over Christianity.
It took hundreds of years for the church to articulate. It took hundreds of years for the church to articulate what the view was, and it constantly revised that view.
No.
Right? In order to maintain itself as an institution. But that's when the Protestants came along. They threw everything out the window. Right? They said, we're not going to trust the church at all. We're going to develop a whole new theology.
Can I say something very quickly?
I can't hear both of you guys.
How long did it take the Jews to figure out what the Messiah was going to be when he came? How long did it take them? They never had it figured. They still don't have it figured out. No, for you to say that we have it figured out,
the Jews who accepted Jesus, peace be upon him, they did figure it out. The Jews who rejected Jesus, peace be upon him, the Jews who accepted him knew what they were expecting.
Yeah,
they were Jews who fully understood who Jesus was, peace be upon him, and they accepted him.
Listen, I don't get how you guys come up with this. You have to at least stick with one story. On the one hand, it took us several hundred years for us to come up with our whole Trinitarian nonsense, blah, 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 blah. But then Paul the Apostle duped us at the beginning of the first century. and then gave us
Because
the Trinity.
Paul isn't teaching the Trinity.
He's not teaching the Trinity.
Nobody ever
He's not
claimed,
teaching the Trinity
right?
anymore.
The people who claim, pay attention, Eric. The people who say that Christianity developed,
and where the Muslim
you go ahead and I'll respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, dude. Like,
let me know when you're done and I can respond to it.
Because every time your guys' story, it updates again and again and again. First, Paul corrupted the true teachings of Jesus. The Trinity is one of the false teachings of Jesus that most Christians believe. But, oh, no, it's not Paul who's teaching that. Okay, so who's teaching the Trinity now? Oh, Paul is the corrupter of the true teachings of Jesus, saying that, oh, Jesus is God and blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's not Paul who's teaching that anymore. So who the hell is making up all these narratives? You want both your cake and to have your cake and eat it. Paul is the chief corrupter of our religion. Oh, but your religion, it only got corrupted into its final form 300 years later. Like the inconsistency is happening.
Thank you so much. So now let me address the point, Eric, because these are two different cakes. We're going to eat both of them, okay? The development of the doctrine of the Trinity and the development of many other concepts, including what is the text of the New Testament, right? There's some connection to Paul, but it's not Paul who determines what they are. Paul never lays out any clear Trinitarian doctrine. All right. Anybody that's read Paul knows that. However, Paul did other things
that led to.
I'm almost done. Paul said other things that led to corruption. Paul said other things that led to corruptions, like not having to. I'll answer your questions as soon as I'm done. But you got to let someone speak, and then you can ask a question, and I can answer that also. But I'm just addressing what you said so far. So the other cake is that Paul introduced a lot of other corruptions, or whoever was writing in the name of Paul, because there's clearly multiple authors. They introduced multiple other corruptions, like do you have to practice the law or not, how to preach to people, and who knows what else. So there are other developments that come from the writings of Paul that are not consistent with writings from other texts. But that doesn't mean Paul invented the New Testament. That just means that there are other issues that happened through later councils. So these are different cakes, right? You can eat all of them at the same time if you want.
The point is, it comes down to the stupid straw man cake of, oh, well, on the one hand, your false doctrine only formulated 300 years before, but let's take the writings of Paul, Jim, Peter, whoever you want, right? Wait, but all of those doctrines exist in those writings. So is it that, they're being corrupted in these councils 300 years later, or they're being corrupted right at the beginning? But that's the issue with the Muslim. He can't seem to decide which one. On the one hand,
What did I say, Eric?
I don't care. I heard what you said very well, and I'm telling you why it's stupid. And it makes zero sense. On the one hand...
Are you strawmanning me, or
I'm not
steelman my position.
I'm steelmanning it very well. On the one hand, right?
Okay, steelman my position.
How about you touch your mouth? On the one hand, we're gonna have the cake of Paul, the corrupter, whoever else the corrupter, whichever corrupted authors of the New Testament, right? We're going to have that cake that, they corrupted doctrine. But then we're also going to have the cake that, these corrupted doctrines, they weren't even formulated till 700 years later. Even though whatever, book of the New Testament you want to use, corruptive or not, from the Muslim perspective, has all these doctrines. So you guys literally can't decide when the corruption occurred, who the corruption even occurred by, because now we're also adding in, actually, Paul might not even have been Paul, right? Peter might not even have been Peter when he was saying that Paul was his good friend. That's another, lovely Muslim claim. Maybe Paul wrote those books. Maybe I wrote those books. Either way, we have these from the 1st and 2nd century, but the corruption is only finalized 4 centuries later. It's so silly and dumb, especially when you go back into the Old Testament. The Son of God, Proverbs 30.
Let's take the first point. You're going off too many other points. No one's paying attention.
You're not paying attention, right? You and the rest of the Muslims are not paying attention. Let's be real.
Let's address the first point.
How about I just finish, right? Because,
go ahead.
Yeah. When we go back to the Old Testament, the Son of God, we see that Proverbs 30, we see that Daniel 7, right? The Son of God being, what am I saying? The Messiah dying for the sins of all of mankind. We even see that in the Greek translation of Daniel 9, even before Jesus comes. Oh wait, but I thought Paul and whoever else came up with this corruption. So why are the Jews believing in it before even there are Christians? The Trinity.
The Jews quote it up at the top too, if you want to know what it says, because it says that he's going to be divine.
Exactly,
It
yeah.
literally says he's going to be divine.
Yeah, Jewish commentary talks about the death of Mashiach Bar Yosef, right? So that's why it's right from the grave. But wait, that's another Christian corruption. The Jewish Zohar, till this day, still has the exact formulation, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But we just made that up too. Isaiah 48:12 or 12 through 16 that talks about the Son of God coming forth from God as well as the Holy Spirit. But that's another Christian invention. I mean, it's just the silliness and the disingenuity. It just gets more stacked on stacked, such that you cannot actually even determine from your own perspective who's doing the corruption, what time it comes from, where the corruption actually begins, because you want to say, it comes at Nicaea, but we see all these, ideologies before Nicaea, and in some cases even in the Old Testament. And then you want to say, but straw man me. I don't need to straw man you. This is history straw mans you. History makes this whole conversation a joke.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting that you mentioned the Zohar, which scholars believe is a 13th century Spanish rabbi's mystical writings. So I don't know why that's going to be evidence for anything. But more importantly, I think the crux of what we're speaking about here is you're identifying the core problem, which is the corruption is happening at so many different levels, so consistently, that we can't put our finger down on a specific one person that does all the corruption. It's actually many people over hundreds of years that introduce small corruptions and sometimes codify big corruptions. And that's clearly documented in history, right? So the corruption of the Trinity, which you can find earlier people, right, making claims about divinity and making claims about subordination and making claims about all these other issues of who Jesus, peace be upon him, is in relationship to God. That's an ongoing thing. There's many different groups that introduced their own corruptions. But then it became codified, right? It became the standard corruption that then was forced on the rest of the people after that time period. But they're not disconnected. They're not disconnected.
Yeah, when was the standard corruption?
They're not disconnected at any time.
Tell me, when was
they're interconnected. They're interconnected.
When was
the interconnection of them? The interconnection of them might leave you confused. But the people that speak about this, I'll go ahead and finish, Eric. Right? I waited for you, muted the entire time. Right?
Yes,
so have some decorum. So that you can ask any question you want afterwards. You chose to speak for a long time instead of actually engaging the topic. You didn't want to steel man what I said. You just wanted to keep straw manning what other people say. Right? So this is not a Muslim view. Right? This is a Christian, a atheist. This is a view from many other groups of people that recognize the same history that you and I and everybody else has access to. In fact, the Christians are the main ones that have preserved this history of corruption, because different Christian groups were preserving the corruptions of other Christian groups. That's why I know about all this information years later, right? Well before there was even Muhammad, peace be upon him, or the group of people that followed him, there were people that were citing these different corruptions, right? Who the early authors are, what they say, what they don't say, what the views are on the Trinity, what the views are on divinity, all these topics, right? So you have several hundred years of Christians debating that. And then they continued, right, for the last 2,000 years, 1,500 years, still debating these subjects and developing new corruptions and claiming that it's the truth. You just happen to have one of them today, right? And none of the Christians here are even going to agree on what those core truths are, because different authorities, and this is what the actual subject of the topic, subject of the discussion was this idea of, is it a more reliable system? How do you arrive at a reliable system, a methodology to determine what did and didn't happen in history? Right? You're going to appeal to your church, somebody else is going to appeal to their church, somebody else is going to appeal to their authority. That's why we don't know what the original teachings were. And if that's the religion that was left for us, that would be an unjust thing to be left for humanity.
Can we
But
have
what we see
can
rather,
we use the historical
I'll finish with
method
this.
on
I'll finish with this part.
non-chain or the old?
I'll finish with this part.
Okay.
I'll finish with this part. I'll finish with this and I'll answer that question. What we actually see, Eric, in the revelation and message from God to humanity is that God was able to send and did and chose a last messenger to be sent to all of humanity to convey a clear message that is well documented, that is well attested to, that you could apply the historical critical method to determine if this person existed, if these events happened or didn't happen, and arrive at a conclusion that yes, right, this is the message that God sent to humanity that I could follow, as Bart said, and a man in China today. And that's why the world is turning to that message, right? That's why they're leaving the corruption of humans that you know and I know was developed over time, and they're turning to the true message of God, the creator of that.
The man in China is going to say that the Christians and the Muslims are just copying the same book from the Jews. That's what he's going to say. And that your claim comes even later than our claims. He's gonna even think your claims are even more ridiculous if he's gonna take the Old Testament as some sort of authority over the religions, right? Because the Torah is supposed to have this. This is where it all started. This is the first time in history Abraham is mentioned. So for you to say, well, no, they were all Muslim, when we have no inscriptions, we don't have anything. If anything, right, historically, right, we have rabbis sitting together talking about how these people from Arabia named Muslims or something to that nature, right, that were connected with Ishmael thing, right, and we have them actually talking about this, coming up to Jerusalem to do sacrifices. And basically they were Jews. And they're saying this tradition was older in Arabia. That's what they have recorded. They have the 2nd century Muslims, or there's a group called some kind of Muslim or something to that nature. I forget what the word they use in Hebrew. Coming up to do Hajj, to do their Hajj in Jerusalem, which is the reason why you guys are praying in that direction in the beginning. Because these are the people that went to Jerusalem during the Temple period. So that's the only connection. So I'm going to say historically, like, literally, they're writing about it. To say, now we have to question, can we use the historical critical method on what the rabbis were saying? That would be your move, right? But yeah, when we go backwards and we say, okay, well, is this the last revelation given to by this God? We can't use the historical critical method. You understand how, like, the Chinese guy is going to look at you, the intellectual, and go, whoa, what are you doing there?
Okay, here's how he would look at it.
And I'm going to give you the video. I'm going to put the video at the top of the rabbis discussing this.
Here's what a rational person, whether Chinese or otherwise, in the 21st century would say. Right? They would look at the history, the development, and the clear corruption that can be identified, that is identified by the followers of that tradition. Right? The followers of that very tradition are saying, look,
Plastic white Shiesty, bitch, you ain't
Shiesty, whatever.
Shiesty said, I was trying to fuck her.
That lady said you was trying to fuck her, you got mad, and now you want to throw her.
I ain't trolled Shiesty in so long, and what the fuck?
Bring that bitch back in the room. She said you said the whole plate up and so cute, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. I believe she really said that shit too. Cause what made? Well, you believe who said that? Me? What the fuck are you doing? How can I set up that? Number one, I let them argue, folks. Then I never chose no sides. He like, what that is? Remove, do that. But now,
I'm gonna have to to get rid of you, John.
Sorry, Simon can't really handle you music. I would leave you on the stage. I don't mind. Go ahead. Oh, do you want me to keep him up?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem with you, Simon, is that sometimes you invent definitions and sometimes you make stuff on behalf of science. You actually go against science and you present it as science. Just like now you said, for example, that the universe is eternal.
Yeah. Let me give you a clear example. We're going to check you out in just a moment. Music AI.
Next time, Bach, you fucking weirdo. You just, I just knew you was gonna follow with some weird shit like about.
We also, you elected
something nice.
Now you're blocked.
Well, I actually sent you something nice, you jerk.
Janine, shut the
That's
fuck up.
confusion, bitch.
Oh.
It's right now where the level of revelation, as Mama Dottie was in the waters of Mem. Some people were like, what is that? It's like we're increasing exponentially to where we're going to start stepping into the powers of the age. Taste. And that, the power of the age to come is the kingdom of life. But then yet, we are given the ability. And it says, for those that have tasted.
Where you could boom, 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 and then now, instead of 2 months.
I'm telling this.
Every
I'm
night
sorry.
you need to spit, baby girl.
Hey,
But look, let me
G.
say this, right? Now go ahead.
Hey, G. Hey, brothers, when y'all get married, I'm giving you a secret. You know how when women, they get in.
Make sure on the app. And she not coming over here. I'm gonna go there.
You can go on without it. You can go and get some motherfucking.
Alright, there, devil. Watch your back. Music, who the hell is that?
What lane you in, my nigga?
Wherever.
I'm talking to my nigga. I said, what lane my nigga in? Because you need to go and get over, nigga. That's the emergency one drink with up the hill. Charcoal.
Man, look, brother ain't that easy.
That like
That's a fact, John.
that like that's why we have one hit wonders. We have all the evidence of everything.
You lying. Put it on the floor.
She just fucked blow a couple of months ago.
I was low in May of this year.
It's just cold.
He was funny.
I hate that shiesty fire girl. I hate her.
What? Give me a.
And the fact that he's trying to spin on her on this weird shit is annoying. We trying to move the conversation along.
That
Like,
number
who is
one,
this
but
nigga,
number
bro?
two,
Does he
who's
even
to say
go
that my
here?
hair? Who's also to say that my hair isn't?
What the fuck is that? Is that a troll in here?
I was up.
They'll be like, I knew you were.
How do you move people like that at your house?
The run is for the noggin. I'm gonna fix it.
Stop the title of this article.
Hold on.
If you like seafood.
Yeah, I love seafood. I want that fucking DJ Khaled crab.
fuck that shit. That's just fuck.
Oh, hey, it's Necro, one of my donors to my political campaign. Hi, Necro. Oh, hey, it's Roivas. Hello?
Y'all don't got no black. You know what? Yeah, man, alright, no. What's up, Kevin? Hey. Lex, but on that level, you're not gonna hear. You're gonna hear Patty. You're gonna hear Audemars. You know what I mean? You're gonna hear Cartier. You're gonna hear Rolex. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna hear Ulysses Nardi. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna hear that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna hear Pagan. They're not gonna say nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's because everybody does the same thing. Same thing with the whip, bro. A fucking Cherokee Jeep. Kratos, you remember when they was out back in the day? Them shits wasn't shit.
Like that BK?
I got 10. What does it have to do with anything?
Alright, he has to go.
Yeah, that shit ain't got nothing to do with anything.
Haley Bailey look like Avatar. Listen to this, y'all.
You don't even know what feminism is, and they don't go by the actual dictionary. They go by the things they see on social media.
As a battle with Marv, yep, or Chrissy Cannon after her husband was wounded.
Like put emojis. There's the bubble right there with comments. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that.
Have my money. That's not the only reason. First of all, how do you think those people got wealthy, Glenn? They were already wealthy before they owned slaves. What is wrong with you? They got their money. They get their money all in their crops, fine. No. And the slaves came in. Who the fuck is that?
So
Hold on, this
Who the fuck making that noise? What the fuck?
That's my dog. Stop, bro.
Fresh out the shower with lace with baby powder. Get my hands up, this might take an hour. Other woman got never sleep with woman head. You know what? My lace and dogs let you start playing.
A broke man will make you end up in jail. I do not. If a nigga do not have his own everything, can take care of everything,
Doesn't have that dogma. If anything, I was taught, and this is just I was taught that people are inherently good, that you're fitra, which I'm sure you know. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Either.
Continue. I'm just writing to a client.
Okay, I can wait because I want to.
I'm listening. It's just the client's message.
Okay. It's just I have a problem accepting that I'm supposed to see humans, myself. I already see myself so negatively because I'm delusional and crazy. And so, to have that be ingrained in my head even more, it's really? I don't feel like that, it doesn't feel intuitive. I don't want to look at my nieces and nephews and think that this is somebody that is inherently born. So I'm trying to better understand these concepts of what sin is and all these I don't know. Because the Islamic paradigm argues the opposite. It argues that you were born pure, good. I think that's what they argue. So I don't necessarily think Jesus is immoral, like you're saying, but I can understand the concept being immoral.
Well, yeah, I mean, the concept is immoral, and that's why I'm saying, like, Jesus is the symbol of self-sacrifice. So, like you know, I completely reject that moral framework on the outset, because, like, you can't preach a morality that tries to kill you while also saying, like, morality is what's like morality.
I agree. I agree.
The good and the bad. But if you're saying that, like, the yardstick is how much you die, it's like that's just a contradiction. Like, the good is how much you're willing to die for. It's like that's just crazy.
Yeah.
But like, don't get it twisted. Like, Islam does the same thing. Like, it fetishises death as well.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I honestly, Simon, you and the others reminded me of, like, you know how you always say the Palestinians like have a death cult and they're this. There was a song that was coupled with people getting married, and it's a distinctly Palestinian song. It's all about like marriage and happiness and life. And like this song itself refutes all of these claims. Like
It's just a song. Like,
no, it's a song. It's a song. It's a representation of the culture, which is anti-death.
But the culture is irrelevant to like what the book preaches. That's why I said, like, I don't want to talk about Muslims.
No. Okay, perfect. So when it comes to Muhammad now, okay, so I understand your position about Jesus and why you, like, to a degree, and now you think Muhammad is immoral, and you want to talk about the doctrine, but to talk about Muhammad, you have to go by the hadith, and the hadith, like, it's like, how do you know which is
reward?
What is
the ultimate reward in Islam?
That's a concept of, like, okay, I'm not saying this to be pedantic, even though I don't really understand like what Diego meant when he's saying I was being pedantic, so I don't want to. I'm not trying to avoid your question. I'm just answering
this world of
in a way where,
as well as the realm of gods.
I look at Islam from the Sufi eye, and tasawwuf to me is the central heart of Islam. Like, sincerely, like, that's what Islam is, what I believe Islam is, and I think the Muslim world has lost that, the Islamic world has lost that. So what is the ultimate reward? It's, I don't want to, like, I know you want me to say heaven versus hell, but I actually think that's like the lowest reward, that isn't the ultimate reward.
Heaven in Islam is the lowest reward?
It's a lower reward, in my opinion, yeah. From the Sufi position.
Jannah is the lowest reward.
No, I'm not saying that it's the lowest reward. I'm saying that the one who's truly seeking God and nearness to God, it isn't about heaven for them. It's about union with God. And that's not necessarily in heaven. Dr. Khalid Abul-Fadl defines the Sufi in one of his lectures as an impatient lover who wants to be with God in the here and now versus in the hereafter. So I would say the ultimate reward in Islam is being with God in the here and now rather than the hereafter. That's what I would define as the ultimate reward from an Islamic paradigm.
Okay, and it preaches that in the Quran.
Let me look at how the different ways. Let me look at the Quran.
Yeah, because like I'm specifically referring to, like, in the Quran, it does say, like, the ultimate reward.
But Simon, you have to remember. You have to also keep in mind the thing that you said about Jesus is not from the Bible. It is from doctrine, dogma, and about him being sacrificed. And this is like the stuff that you're saying, like, it's dogma that was developed later of, like, yeah, it might have some stuff in the Bible, but this is something that they established later about Jesus. So I can also take
It's
from.
established. It's saying Jesus died for the sake of for the sins of everyone else.
Where does it say it in the Bible? If we're just gonna go like because I'm not arguing against. I'm not arguing against the Bible or against the Quran. I'm saying that we should also include the dogmas and doctrines within the religions that go outside of the actual literal words in the respective books. Hold on.
Right here. I will get you the verse.
Because I believe a lot of the stuff about Christianity is later dogma, not from the Bible. It's from the church.
That's what I would define as the ultimate reform from an Islamic paradigm.
Okay.
How the different ways.
Okay, so in the Quran specifically, I'm finding some specific verses. Hold on.
It does say like the ultimate reward.
Simon, you have.
Okay, so Corinthians 15:3.
Corinthians 15:3. So that's Paul, Corinthians 15:3.
Yeah. And it says explicitly that Christ died for our sins in accordance with the scriptures.
Okay, and you believe that that verse specifically speaks about what you're saying and not more.
There's a bunch of verses. I mean, like the New Testament explicitly said that he dies for our sins.
Okay, but dying for our sins and sacrifice, being like a human sacrifice for your sins, is not the same thing. He was killed. He didn't choose to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, he did. That's the prophecy.
That he chose, but I'm saying that's not something that was developed later by dogma, or do they specifically say that, like that Jesus chose?
Can you hear me on this phone? I think the mic is broken.
I don't think Jews believe that.
Jews.
Yeah, the Old Testament is the Tanakh, so they would say.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that if that was a prophecy, that would be something that they would say that their messiahs, that they believe for their messiah, and I don't. Do they believe that? Prophecy about that, because I think the sacrifice part that you're adding is something that is, I don't know these things. I wish Diego was here so he could engage with you on this.
Over here it says in Romans 8, but God demonstrates his love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us.
Okay, I guess we can take it like that. Sacrifice.
Corinthians 5:21, God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, that he in him we might become the righteousness of God.
Okay.
I mean, fucking hell, there's so many verses over here. Holy shit.
Okay, so let me see.
This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is just like fetishizing, like every man is sinful. It's like that's meaningless to say.
So Simon, like what I said about the highest reward and like what I believe is the highest reward, I found a verse in the Quran that says, وعد الله المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ومساكن طيبة في جنات عدن رضي من الله أكبر ذلك هو الفوز العظيم. So in this verse it says, God has promised the believers, both men and women, gardens under which rivers flow to stay there forever, and splendid homes in the gardens of eternity, and above all, the pleasure of God. That is truly the ultimate triumph. So, there you go. That's the highest reward, is that. Anyways, how is that an immoral thing?
How's what? Sorry, I was messaging a client. What did you say?
You had asked me what is the highest reward in Islam, and I said what I said, and then I gave you a verse in the Quran that somewhat corroborates that position. So what's the next reason why Muhammad is immoral?
That corroborates what position? Mine.
No, that corroborates what I said about the highest reward in Islam is God.
Well, I mean, there's. Well, I mean, obviously it's God. I'm saying like your actions, based off of your actions, what is the highest reward? Besides praying to God, obviously, you have to do that 5 times a day.
It's not praying to God, it's a connection with God, but the highest reward, it literally says God has, I told you what it is, it's like being in union with God, and the here and now.
There's several other things that people have to do.
Okay, so what, tell me how the thing is immoral from like...
It fetishizes death.
No. What do you mean? If I said the ultimate reward is connecting with God in the here and now while you're alive, how is that fetishizing death?
There's a few other rewards. No, like just saying like have a connection with God, like that's immoral. There's a few other things that says it in the Quran.
I mean, the people that have this connection, this being connected with are the Sufis, like the highest of the highest of the highest spiritual people. Like, this is not just like an average person that would be connected with God in this way.
Well, I mean, okay, but does the Sufi read like a different version of the Quran?
No, but they probably repeat the same verse over and over. But I don't understand how you're saying that something is immoral. Like, it doesn't make sense.
If it goes against your life, it's immoral.
Nothing is telling you to go against your life.
So why does it praise martyrdom?
What does martyrdom mean?
You sacrifice your life.
No, it doesn't. Like, martyrdom is the English word, and even in church, when I went to church the other day, the priest was talking about this, and I was like, I found it interesting because he said the word and I already knew what it meant, because in Islam, a shaheed, which I'm sure you know that word because you've heard it, a shaheed is a witness.
Besides praying to God, obviously.
So even from the etymological perspective of shaheed, it is not somebody who sacrifices themselves. It's somebody that witnesses something, an injustice, and whatever it is that they witness. They don't go and kill themselves like that. Like Christianity is forbidden to do that. Do you know a woman that dies in birth?
I'm talking about in Islam, martyrdom is celebrated.
No. What you're saying martyrdom in a way that is not accurate to what martyrdom actually means. You're just assuming martyrdom means sacrificing yourself for no. Shaheed does not mean somebody who goes and sacrifices themselves. A shaheed is somebody who witnesses like an injustice and it goes against it, or witnesses a hardship and goes against it, or witnesses a hardship and is rewarded for it. For example, Simon, do you know that a woman that gives birth and dies in labor is considered a shaheed?
Oh, what? Sorry?
When a woman, like if you die while giving birth, you are a shaheed in Islam.
Okay.
She's a shahida in Islam. If you die by drowning, you're considered a shaheed. If you let me actually look them up the exact ones because I learned this when I was a kid. Different reasons you can be a shaheed according to Islam. Like if you die in a fire, if you die in an earthquake, you're a shaheed. If you give during pregnancy, childbirth, or nursing, you're a shaheed as a woman. If you're defending your life, your family, or your honor, if you drown, like I said, you're a shaheed. So like the concept of shaheed in Islam is not somebody who just like goes and kills himself, like goes and no, like you're supposed to avoid that.
I want to look at my nieces and nephews and think that this is somebody that is inherently.
I don't agree with you.
So I'm trying to understand this concept and think.
I mean, I can understand if you're gonna say the reasons why Muhammad is immoral because he married Aisha or he did this or he did that. A lot of the polemics that like, but you didn't say any of that. You just said the religion.
That's what I would define as.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, that speaks for itself. I mean, we've beat that point. Like, it's like beating a dead horse. Obviously, like.
But like even those like, I don't know. I feel like I have so much work to do. I know you're like, oh, that was crazy. Just do whatever is gonna like keep her in order. But I don't want to like damn my soul in this world. Like I need to like. I already feel damned as it is.
I just think you don't have the proper tools for dealing with your problems.
What problems do you think I have?
All the problems that you talk about.
What problems do I talk about?
Your family, your brother.
So my family, my brothers were fine. Like I think that's just regular dynamics. Like I talked to
your parents. Your brother called the police on you and had you committed.
He did, but like
that's not a normal family. Like
yeah, I know, but it's like it's close. It happened. It's gone. I talked to him yesterday. I called him on the phone. I talked to him normal. I wish he didn't do that, but it happened. But it's not a problem right now. We're on regular terms.
Yeah, you're saying right now. I'm saying like, was it justified for him to do that?
No, it wasn't. But he did it because.
But that's what I'm saying. Now you just saying, yeah, but I forgive him. I mean, like that's meaningless. Like the guy lied, had you committed, and now you're justifying it by sanctioning the lies and saying, yeah, it's okay, I forgive him.
I mean, Simon, it's not that I forgive him or don't forgive him. It's that, like, my brother, like, as you saw, the house was like a mess. It was being renovated.
Yeah,
he was probably stressed. No, I'm not justifying it. I'm trying to understand him. So he comes to the house. The Honduran guy's already acting weird. He comes to the house. I had thought that he was gonna. It was kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I engaged him, and he told the police some stuff that wasn't true at the time, from like months ago, and whatever. It like I suffered because of it, but you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like these are things that, like, in my moral framework, if someone lies and gets me committed, like that's it. I'm never speaking to that person again because I never want to be hurt by the people that say that they love me like that. Like this is what I'm saying. Like these are practical examples of how people will do bad for you and your life, and you're gonna continue to put yourself in positions that these people could potentially still hurt you.
Yeah,
how does that help you in the long run?
I think ultimately, like, okay, all this stuff happened, but like me holding on to it doesn't help me. And now that my face is pretty much disfigured in my eyes, that's my actual problem, is this disfigurement that I feel in my face. That's my problem because it's messing me up psychologically, like more than I was already messed up psychologically.
You care too much about your looks, then.
I mean, you can call me vain, which my good friend Diego likes to sometimes express to me. However,
How would you call me? He's just my good friend, but he's just a buddy.
No, I love him. But at the same time, like, I don't think, like, how is that caring too much about how I look when I...
Because if you're having a psychological disposition because of a scar on your face,
that makes me. I already felt like I already had issues with my face
Like,
before
how does
that.
impede you from living your life?
Well, one, I feel self-conscious that I look disfigured.
And then you have to ask yourself, why do you feel like?
Because I literally can feel this extra skin when I talk, when I chew, when I move. I can feel it.
That's just discomfort.
Okay, I have discomfort, and then
You're alive. How
okay.
does that impede you from living your life?
It makes me more cautious on the things that I want to do. For example, I want to go to the gym, but I'm too afraid that if I do too much excess, that I'm going to make my face more disfigured, which is going to cause me to feel self-conscious because I put like a lot of my...
How is lifting weights going to like split your face?
No, I just feel like if I run, if I walk, if I go in the cold, because I don't have a car right now, if I go in the cold and go to the gym, all of this stuff is just going to be a negative on my face. And
how?
Because it's going to get more swollen, it's going to get more irritated, it's going to get like atrophy. I don't know.
So it's well, you're saying you don't know. Okay, well, like
I don't know. I'm afraid.
Now you're saying I don't know.
I know I don't know. I don't want to take the risk. That's why.
Well, you can educate yourself so that you can, like, if you do those things, you can see if it does or doesn't. If it does, then you say, okay, I'm not gonna go to the gym because of.
But you just said why. But you just said why should I care? So like why?
No, that's not what I said. I said.
3. To examine witnesses and
Why
direct
do you
witnesses to
care?
testify. Limit the number of times any
in the
witness may
context
testify.
of
Limit repetitious or chronic.
what it does to your what it does to you psychologically. So like and then you started giving me reasons like
okay I feel okay
the gym.
No I feel listen I feel like previous jobs that I have had, I was able to get them because I did not have a scar on my face. Do I think I looked amazing and that's why I got a job? No. But I think I looked normal, I was dressed well, I had a little bit of makeup on, and a lot of the jobs that I had was like facing people, talking to people, like engaging first contact with people, whether it was when I was working at a law office.
There's actually a perfect study done on this. There's a I can even send you the video if you want.
But now I have this, so I'm worried about it.
Yeah, this is so funny you brought this up. What they did was they gave women like horrible, like really beautiful women.
Oh, I saw this, and they made them think that they had something wrong with their face, but they didn't.
Yeah. Yes.
But I actually do have something wrong with my face.
They all complained. Yeah, but you're proving my point though. In their eyes, they were saying, even though my face is disfigured, okay, when in reality, when they did the job interview, it wasn't. Psychologically, they all complained about saying how they thought they didn't get the job because of their face. So even when it wasn't the case, they still thought that it was. So now it's
okay. Let me hear. Okay. No. I agree. Okay, listen. I will say, when I was in California, I did get a job that was like an appearance based, like you know how you look, like fashion stuff, and I had my scar and they still hired me. So I appreciate it. I wish I didn't leave, and I wish I stayed there. I shouldn't have left. I had more worth in my life there, and I just came back to like my family that's hurt me. So you're right, and it's just an excuse. And I actually got you're right. You're right. I need to not fixate on it so much, and I need to not let it affect me psychologically, and I need to accept it. Maybe it's, yeah. I don't know if it's gotten worse since I came back.
All I'm saying is.
But she did. The manager did ask me to put concealer on it at one point, though. And I didn't, because I was it was healing, and I don't want to put anything on it. But she did say, just a little concealer. So that was whoa, I couldn't believe she said that.
That is fucking insane that she said that to me. What the fuck? That's actually crazy. But okay, whatever. It is what it is. like, all I'm saying is, like, these are real questions that you have to deal with. Like, you have to be able to, like, if something's bothering you, okay, that's an emotion that you can't just, like, avoid. You have to, like, tackle with the emotion and ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? What's going on? Why am I feeling like this?
Honestly, Simon. Honestly, Simon, I'm not. I made an appointment with my therapist and a psychiatrist because of how, like, how, what's the word I'm looking for? How distraught I was over my face yesterday. Like, I was completely distraught, not because of how it looked, but because not only do I feel like I look hideous and disfigured, I also sent, like, a video to a handful of people where I was showing them all the issues of how my face is and they were like, they basically were like, you're still beautiful, which I didn't think before because of accidents. So then it made me realize psychologically I am messed up in my head. The fact that I'm seeing something that other people aren't seeing upsets me more because now I'm like, okay, now they're either gaslighting me or I'm fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, it's listen, like, you can it's like, it's okay to feel like this because, you know, you didn't have a scar and now you do have a scar, so it's just, it's a new thing, but then there's, like, the reality of, like,
but I objectively,
like, justifying,
I thought I was being objective. Like, it's not like I'm fixating on it. Like, you know how you have the front face camera and the other side of the camera on your phone? Okay. So I did the other side of the camera because I think it's, like, more clear than the front face. Like, the front face I don't think is as powerful. So I flipped the phone and I recorded myself with the other side where I couldn't see myself but had already seen the video. And I analyzed all the reasons about my face why it, like it just looks so bad before I even got to the scar. Like, things that were issues before my scar and then, like, things after my scar. And so, like, I already and so I'm, like, analyzing and showing all these things.
That makes zero sense.
Not necessarily.
And I am objectively seeing it. Like, in my head, I'm being so objective. Like, I'm like, here's this, you can see this, you can see that. But then somebody else will see it and they don't see it. So then I'm like, I'm fucking crazy if I believe that I'm objectively seeing it, but it's not there. And I used to have this problem years ago. Like, when I was, like, in my early 20s.
What are you seeing and it isn't there?
Okay, and they specifically invited her to be there to discuss them.
What are you saying that you're seeing that isn't there?
So when I flip the camera.
And let me just say this. You can say that, and they can say that until you guys are all blue in the face, and the results are...
All you gotta do is... I'm not saying it. It's in the clip. It's in the clip.
It doesn't matter. People don't. Like, the people, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter. The public is not buying it. It does not matter. It comes off as insincere. Everything about it screams insincerity, and to try to play it off on some semantics is not working, right? So go ahead and run with that strategy.
The meaning of the English language. The meaning of the English language is not semantics, man. Come on, you can't just say. When you make a statement and people hold you to the definition of the words, you can't just raise up the semantics flags because sometimes people are trying to be. Sometimes people are trying to be precise. When you say
the claims by Candace Owens.
What does live stream mean per definition of the word, Rick? What does it mean?
What does at our studios in Phoenix mean?
So then there's two different terms used during the invitation that have two different meanings. One means virtual and one means at the studio.
They said that they were having a live stream. They said that they were having a live stream and they invited her to participate in the live stream at our studios in Phoenix.
It wasn't an invitation. It was an ultimatum, bro. Like, it's just ridiculous.
No. It wasn't an ultimatum. It wasn't an ultimatum. They gave her an invitation.
24 hours. Look,
that was they didn't give her 24 hours.
Rick, no. You said over. No. You said over. They didn't give her 24 hours to respond. They
After they gave her 24 hours to respond after they specified the date and time.
bro. That you're just making
Without giving her the direct confirmation and respect.
Here's the thing, though, right? Is that no matter like how you try to rationalize it, people aren't buying it. All right, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if you're correct. Okay, even if you're correct.
I agree with that. I agree. It doesn't matter if I'm correct because people don't really want correctness. People want salaciousness.
Because it comes off as an insincere gesture, the way that it was executed, the way that it was worded, and the way that it was responded to. Right? All of it seemed insincere on its face. So they could have.
I don't agree.
Well, you don't have to, but you'll see how the American people and their base agree, right? Like that's fine. Go ahead and don't agree. Go ahead
I expect any Candace supporter person. I expect anybody who self-identifies as a supporter of Candace to have the viewpoint.
I am not hold on. I am not a like loyal Candace supporter. I appreciate the things that she has brought to the table in regards to the Charlie Kirk assassination, and I have called balls and strikes the entire time, and I was not a Candace watcher or fan or anything before that, right? So for me to have that opinion is based objectively on what I'm observing. I might have a little bias.
All right, I've got 4 hands up in this room.
I share the same
This is the diligent
as far as scrutiny goes.
denizen.
So my bias, but you can
Co-host
see
Noxie, Blake, Zintani, Lunai, and I'm screen recording this, FYI. This guy Bricksuit works for Elon Musk, and he's always in Adrian Dittman's rooms. He's a very annoying person.
Every show. I'm not basing my opinion on hacker. I'm not basing my opinion or what I say
eVTOL,
on the reaction.
bad news on my campaign.
So
Both of my objections were dismissed, and they ruled against me in their objection as a candidate. So,
okay, so I'm not saying about you.
yeah.
But TPUSA,
I wouldn't say I'm out of the race because I can do a write-in candidacy, but I'm pretty sure that the Illinois State Board of Elections is going to strike me from the ballot. But I will have public comment. I filed objections against LaHood and the Democrat candidate, and they rejected my objections and did not do an executive summary audit of their petitions. Only my petitions were audited, which is bullshit. I know how to do it better next time, but yeah, sucks. But honestly, I know it sucks, but there is also the wave of release of like not having to campaign anymore. But I'm gonna do a write-in candidacy and then pivot to Chicago politics and try to run for mayor or commissioner. So I've laid the groundwork. We've got the railroad station, and the tracks have been started to some type of political election, position / job. Just creating a job for myself. But I have recorded myself. We've got like 50,000 videos up on YouTube of the past couple of years. Project is the biggest accomplishment. And I would call it more than an art project at this point. I would call it like
But a poll would not be an arbiter of what's correct.
an advancement in communication, even though maybe it's not professional, even though I'm just recording myself in my office.
So I just want to ask you a question. You are being disingenuous about the timeline, you would think. Do you not think that? Do you think the timeline?
This guy's name is Chad Talks Facts. Professional fixer, PR disaster recovery. He's a PR agent.
For lack of a better term, at midnight and giving her 24 hours.
Well, I think so. Chad, I think what let's see if I got this right, okay? Because I don't have the timeline open in front of me. I only have one phone right now, so I can't access the other line. But I think that Blake Neff put out a statement that there was going to be that there was going to be this event at their studio in Phoenix, and that she was invited to attend. And then later that same day, Candace said, I accept, you named the place, you named the time,
all the bells and whistles, I'll be there. And then they put out the invitation with the specifics about the location and the timeline for the response. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I know you're correct. But what I'm saying is, well, we also are talking about words matter, and I understand what you were saying with the semantics and etymology of that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about how the words matter. So she did want to do it virtually, and she issued a challenge for it to happen today. Yesterday, she issued a challenge to do it virtually today.
Her first indication of doing it virtually wasn't until after the invitation, until after the time and place of the venue is specified. Is that correct?
No. Oh, yeah. Well,
no, it was not. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So when was the first time she mentioned attending virtually?
Yesterday.
She mentioned attending virtually yesterday.
The invitation / challenge.
She said she would do it that same day. She's like, why do we have to wait? Why do we have to set up a time? We can do it now.
I can do it for here. I can do it tomorrow.
So she proposed doing it tomorrow, but she didn't
Chris,
specify
why does
via
it matter
notes.
if she's in person?
She
If it's
said
about
she
her and her
proposed doing it.
statements.
Well, hold on. She proposed doing it from her studio today in her response. That is implicitly, almost explicitly.
Okay, that's fine. That's today, but that was again. That came after the invitation that specified the date and time and Phoenix.
Well, no. So there's a little bit of confusion. That's why I want to get the timeline down, because if you know the timeline down, I think you understand what everyone's talking about. Not that you have to agree, of course. There's yesterday on her stream. So what happened was Blake said that there will be an event to address her. They didn't invite her yet. So she said, listen, you should have called me, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to do some type of event like this, listen, we can do it today. We can do it tomorrow. That was yesterday. She issued a challenge to them to let her debate them.
No, they said the ball was in her court. They allowed her, they basically gave her the option to attend, but stating that they were going to be talking about all of her claims.
Yes. Okay. So she issued a challenge back to them, is what I was saying.